Hello, and yes, my lovelies, as I promised in my last review, today I'm going to be bringing you a review of one of the brand new Doctor Who B&M exclusive sets. And this time it is the 4th Doctor Regenerated and TARDIS set. So, as always, before we get on to the set, we will first take a quick look at the packaging. The packaging for this set is the debut of the brand new packaging design. It's really rather lovely, so we'll take a quick look over it. At the top here we have the brand new Doctor Who logo for the 13th Doctor's era, 5.5 inch, 14 centimetre scale collector series. You have this really nice band of Gallifreyan text running across the top, which is quite reminiscent of the strip of Gallifreyan text that goes around the floor in the new console room, which is quite nice. Down on the side we have the 13th Doctor's TARDIS, looking very nice there. 4th Doctor Regenerated and TARDIS collector figure set at the bottom includes 4th Doctor Regenerated from Robots in 1974. And of course in the middle we have the item on show, and also my warped reflection. Hello! Moving on to the side, we've got Doctor Who logo again with opening doors. We've got the TARDIS again, 4th Doctor Regenerated and TARDIS collector figure set again. On the back we have the Doctor Who logo, but stacked this time, which is really rather interesting and quite nice. The 4th Doctor Regenerated and TARDIS collector figure set again, and the band of Gallifreyan text yet again with opening doors again, and we also have a product shot of the 4th Doctor and TARDIS. What's interesting to note is the font there is different than on the actual item, which is quite interesting. Anyway, we have the 13th Doctor's TARDIS again, with bio here on the TARDIS. No bio dedicated to the Doctor, which is a little odd. You usually get one. Oh no. Includes the 4th Doctor Regenerated from Robot 1974 again. And on the other side we have the same image with opening doors, the stacked Doctor Who logo again, and then the same information. And on the bottom of the box you have your kind of legal jargon and a little demonstration there on how you shut the door. And inside the box you get this really lovely backdrop of Unit HQ, where the TARDIS was seen for a lot of John Pertwee's era and also in Robot at the beginning, and it's really quite lovely. It's full of lots of little Easter eggs. For example, on the cabinet there you have a picture of the 3rd Doctor, Joe, and the Brigadier, which I believe is one of the promotional shots for the Claws of Axos, which is really lovely. I think that's a really nice little addition. On the side there's various little bits and pieces here. You've got a picture of the Whomobile there, a blueprint of the TARDIS console there, and you have one of the Lee Sen Chang posters from the Talons of Weng Chiang with a little note there. And it's really just, you know, a really nice inclusion. It's a really lovely thing to have included. You've got the floor there, which unfortunately has been, you know, that's where the TARDIS is kept in the box. Unfortunately, you've got these rather ugly holes in the bottom, which is a bit of a shame. But nevertheless, it's a really lovely inclusion, and I'm sure that I will definitely be displaying my set on the shelf with this. Moving on to the set now, we will start off by taking a look at the 4th Doctor figure. So here is the 4th Doctor Regenerated as he appeared at the end of Planet of the Spiders and at the start of Robot. This is the 3rd time that we've seen this figure now. The first time we saw it was in the 4th Doctor time capsule back in 2013. The second time was a re-release in, I believe, in the US. However, it had the original 4th Doctor head sculpt rather than the version which came with the time capsule set. And now we have it re-released again. Taking a look at the detail, like I said, this is the head sculpt which came with the 4th Doctor time capsule set, and I think it's a really nice sculpt. I think the paint apps are really good for the most part. I do think perhaps the sideburns are a bit too light. I think they could have done with a bit of a darker wash. They look almost orange on camera, but they are actually quite a light brown, which is accurate to how Tom's sideburns looked, but I think maybe a darker wash might have helped them to not stand out quite so much. The hair's been done really nicely. It's kind of light brown, given a darker wash, and it looks really nice. The eyes and the eyebrows and the mouth have also been done really well, and it just looks really good overall. Moving down, we've got the turquoise shirt with the grey trim, and we also have the black blazer with the grey trim as well. I think this is possibly a little too light. I think that the older figures did a better job where instead of having a grey trim, they had a gloss black trim. I believe in the episode the trim is a really, really dark grey. And if you ask me, this stands out a little too much. The sculpting is really nice, however, you've got all the creases and the two buttons there, you've got the pockets and the creases down the back, and as well as the buttons on the cuffs, and you have the frilly shirt cuffs poking out there, which looks really nice. Moving down, we have the legs here, which are just a flat grey, and the shoes have been done in a matte black. Again, the sculpting is really good, it's really nice, it's exactly the same as the previous version of this figure, and it looks really good. Bringing in the original version of this figure, which came in the 4th Doctor time capsule set for a comparison, I think, personally, the new one, in terms of paint applications on the face, is a lot better. I think it looks a lot more like Tom Baker than this one does. However, like I said, I think the gloss black trim on the older figure looks more accurate than this lighter grey trim. As you can see, the shirt on the new one is more of a turquoise than this lighter blue on the older figure. I think on the new one, the trousers have also been done in a lighter grey compared to this one, and the shoes have been done in a darker shade of black. So then, moving on to articulation, the head can move from side to side. It can probably do the full 360, but I'm not going to do it, as of course, as always, you know, with the collar you'll risk chipping off the paint. The arms do a full 360 degree rotation at the shoulders, 360 at the biceps, bend at the elbow, and there's a full 360 at the wrist. It's just quite tight. The waist also can do a full 360. The legs can kick forwards and out to the sides, however they are hindered by the blazer. There's a full 360 degree rotation at the thigh and bend at the knee. No foot articulation, no ball jointed shoulder. So all in all, it's pretty standard articulation for a Doctor Who figure. So next we will move on to the TARDIS. Now this is pretty much the exact same sculpt as the 3rd Doctor TARDIS, which we saw last year. The plastic is of that same kind of almost waxy quality to it. I presume it's cheaper to make. Looking at the detail, you can see the lantern on top has actually been done grey and given this nice dark wash, as have the police public call box signs. The TARDIS has been done in this really nice blue and then given a dark wash over it. You can see you've got the wash in the windows, which looks really nice. The pull to open sign is black with white text, and unlike the previous 4th Doctor TARDIS that we got, the frame has also been painted black, which is much more accurate and makes it look a lot better. You've got the lock there along with the handle, which unfortunately on mine has a paint chip, which is a little bit disappointing, but never mind. Paint applications pretty much remain the same on all sides, as well with the grey police public call box signs with the black text. Unfortunately, on the back of the TARDIS you still have the speaker holes and the battery compartment left over from the electronic version, which is a shame, but you know, being a B&M set, they're not going to really resculpt it or anything, which is a shame, but just something you have to live with. Now, for features, of course, the TARDIS, as advertised on the box, does feature the opening doors, and it's the same mechanism as always on all of these classic TARDISes. You can open this door, the pull to open door can also be opened, but it isn't designed to be used with the mechanism. It doesn't work on a mechanism, it just has a little notch at the top of the roof there, focus, which keeps the door closed. On the inside, it is just blue, nothing much really there. Of course, there is no interior, as on all of these classic TARDISes, as there never was a view of the interior and the inside of the props. And to close the doors, the pull to open door just pulls shut. Just pull it past the notch there. Whereas the other door, there's a little button on the inside there, which you press and the door closes like so. Comparing the new release with the original Fourth Doctor's TARDIS from 2010, I have to say, on the whole, I prefer the new version. I like the dark blue that they've gone with. It's a lot more accurate if you ask me. The pull to open door sign, the text is done in a different font, which I think looks better on the new one, and also, like I said, the frame has been painted black, which looks a lot better, as the pull to open sign actually sort of encompasses the whole of the panel in the box, whereas this one is just blue, which doesn't look as good. It's got a really nice dark wash to it, which this one doesn't have. The signs at the top, as you can see on the original, they are just black with the white text, whereas on the new one it's grey with the black text, which again, I just think it looks a lot better on the whole. All in all, I think this TARDIS is a really nice addition and quite an improvement over the 2010 one. Yes, the 2010 version had the lights and sounds, which were very good, and I think the plastic quality is a bit better on that older one. However, this one, in terms of detail and the representation of the Fourth Doctor's TARDIS, I think it does a much better job. I think it looks really nice with the darker blue, the dark wash that goes over it, and on the windows and on the signage, and yeah, I just think it's a really nice addition. All in all, I think this is a really great set. I think it's a really nice addition to the collection. The Fourth Doctor figure is great. The TARDIS is a really lovely representation of the TARDIS from the Fourth Doctor's era. And yeah, even if you do have the original version of that TARDIS and the original version of this Fourth Doctor, I'd still definitely recommend picking this set up. It really is a nice addition. And for the price of £19.99, it's definitely worth it. As always with these sets, they're a little hard to come by. I don't know if this one's going to be any easier to find than the Third Doctor and TARDIS. It certainly was for me. I had to get a Third Doctor and TARDIS off eBay, but this one I found at my local B&M. They didn't have many in, so I'm not sure if this is going to be any easier, but worth a shot. Definitely get around to your local B&Ms and see if they've got this in stock. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video, whatever that may be. Farewell, my dears.